Good evening. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a check of the forecast. First Alert forecast on Atlanta News First Plus. Good news. Today's rain, today's gloom, though some of us, parts of the area, do need some rain, especially Cleburne, Randolph counties in Alabama. The wet weather has come to an end, and that means that we have nice conditions heading into the overnight hours, the weekend. Not quite done with the last couple of showers, but as far as the steady rain is concerned, that has come to an end. So just want to let you know, yes, technically a couple of showers still possible, now through about midnight or so, 11 p.m., especially North Metro and up into the mountains. But the majority of the really steady rain has ended, and we are looking ahead to a gorgeous weekend. And the final couple of showers we do see overnight tonight will come to an end, well before you're up and out tomorrow morning. Really looking like a stunning Saturday is on the way. Nonetheless, we will begin with what we have going on outside. A check of First Alert radar here in just a moment. We're just opening up some of our newer weather graphics here, keeping everything updated and making sure that we have the graphics that we need to, tell you the weather story and show you and tell you what's going on. And while those graphics are loading up, I want to let you know a couple of resources that you have to give us a holler, ask your weather questions heading into the weekend. A lot of folks probably have plans, one of which is to just comment on YouTube. We're streaming right now on Atlanta News First. That's the account that we're on. We would love for you to give us a like and a follow. That way you can always be alerted to streams like this one or to breaking news and our other news updates throughout the day and, work weekend. Also, you can text us, 470-777 WANF. That's 470-777-9263. Both of those resources, of course, free, easy to access, and monitoring both if you do have any weather questions. All right, let's go ahead and go to First Alert radar. We'll pop it up here for you. Again, a little bit of rain starting to move back in to North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Not quite into the immediate metro, but getting up into Floyd County, Chattooga County. We do have a little bit of moisture up there, still moving off to the south and off to the southeast. So we're going to be watching it here for you pretty closely, probably for the next 2 to 3 hours. Getting into Cleburne County could be, a quick little downpour. But in general, still drier than it was earlier today. And I think that drier trend will continue. It's just going to take some time. You have to get this final last bit of shower activity out of the area before we can completely dry the forecast. Going to switch over radar modes, maybe give you a better picture here so you can see exactly where it's raining. Again, moving roughly from west to east. So along and north of I-20, this is where the greatest chance of rain is going to be here over the next, 3 hours or so. We're going to pause radar, put a tracker on this for you. Moving pretty quickly, so it's not going to rain all that much longer. Even if your community, especially North Metro, Canton, Cherokee County, Cartersville, Bartow County, again, about down to I-20. This could clip the city of Atlanta, so even in Atlanta, may not quite be done with the rain. Timing this out on its current heading, looking like Calhoun, 948, the Dallas community, getting up into Paulding County, 1020, Polk County around the same time, Canton, Cherokee County, as mentioned, 1028, Marietta, Cobb County, 1044, and then into Atlanta, heart of Fulton County. That'll be by 11:10 this evening. If you're watching the late news with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez, she'll probably be tracking these last few showers moving on through. Now, I will say, and I'm going to clear the track here, and you can get a better look at First Alert radar. The oranges, the yellows, the reds you see right now, probably fewer of those shades as we get later into the evening. This will likely be falling apart a bit as we get into the overnight hours here across North Georgia, Metro Atlanta. Still, though, want to remind you, nice break in the rain right now. Not a bad evening for dinner and after dinner plans, but we could still have those last couple of showers swinging on by as we get a little bit closer to, 10, 11, midnight. Especially along and north of Interstate 20. Out the door tomorrow morning, sunshine, no rain to speak of. In fact, a pleasant weekend is ahead of us. Going to be pretty nice out there across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Really much of the southeast. We've had a little change of weather pattern. Pleasant weekend weather is on the way. Cool front moving through. Technically cold front, but really this is just a push of some slightly drier air, which is why temperature is not that much cooler and still warmer than it should be. It's been so cold so far this January, but not the case over the next 7 to 10 days. Atlanta down to 44, Covington 43, Eaton 45. Upper 30s probably reserved for the mountains tomorrow morning. Highest of elevations, even LJ 41, maybe Blue Ridge 39, Blairsville, as you can see, 39, Helen 39-40, up into far northern portions of Lumpkin County, and then Clay County, North Carolina, northwestern portions of Rabun County, generally north of Clayton. That's where 30s are going to be most common. Could be some patchy frost, though with sunshine, still a nice start to the day, and because of the sunshine, the dry air, the weather pattern we have in place, certainly going to see temperatures warm up pretty quickly as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So this is for the city of Atlanta. Again, hour-by-hour forecast, 46 at 6 a.m., 49 9 a.m., 57 at noon. Temperatures back in the 60s tomorrow afternoon. So we start in the 40s. Sunshine working like magic. We're going to shoot through the 50s, back into the 60s as we get into tomorrow afternoon. About midway through this stream, I want to let you know, as we did at the beginning of the stream, that you can ask questions. Any clarification on the forecast? If you're looking further ahead into the future and you're already thinking about next week, feel free to ask those weather questions. Atlanta News First on YouTube, one place that we're streaming. If you're watching on Roku, Amazon Fire, that doesn't really help you. You don't want to, close out your TV just to pull up your phone to stream the same thing. But you can pull up your phone while you're watching and simply text us. I'm going to go ahead and show that number on your screen. I'll just talk about it. 470-777-WANF. That's 470-777-9263. It's a simple text, much like you're texting a friend, family, loved one about anything. You can text the First Alert Weather team your weather questions. Also get the latest First Alert forecast as well. And this is not just tonight. This is, basically any night that we are streaming. And we continuously monitor that thread as well, texts. And during times of active weather, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, we'll answer them then. But you can also send us your weather photos, your weather videos. For example, we had that big, likely due to the extremely cold weather we've had recently, the big pipe burst underground on Peachtree in kind of the south end of Buckhead, kind of Peachtree Battle area yesterday, and people were sending us photos of basically the geyser blowing out of Peachtree Road last night there in the south end of Buckhead. High temperatures tomorrow, not bad. Again, we talked about how Atlanta's going up into the mid to upper 60s. Same story just about everywhere. Mountains a little bit cooler. Just like I mentioned, you could begin the day a little bit cooler with temperatures in the lower 30s. We're going upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. LJ 57, Helen 59. Though 65 for Atlanta, average high temperature is 55. So other end of the spectrum compared to the past, 2, 3, 3.5 weeks. We're 10 degrees above average, not below, and that's been the norm. The month as a whole at its peak was, 6 or more degrees cooler than average. That's a pretty impressive anomaly. Now that we're warmer than average, we're kind of chipping away at that anomaly and how cold this month has been as a whole. Now that we are on the final day of the month. In fact, I can give you the stats that'll go down in history. Sometimes they do alter this. Of course, also remember that in Atlanta, our official climate site is Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, so it can be a little warmer than some of the surrounding sites. But as of today, actually, they don't have today's in yet. The official one should be in. They might be taking a few more minutes just because they have to go through the whole month. So this may actually be out tomorrow. But as of yesterday afternoon, the month as a whole was 4.5 degrees still below average, and today was 10 degrees above average. So I would say we could end the month around 4 degrees or just greater than 4 degrees colder than average. And again, that's the month as a whole. Kind of an impressive anomaly compared to what we normally see and what we have seen for the past, several years here across North Georgia. Specifically, climate site at Hartsfield-Jackson for the city of Atlanta. And then that's not the end of the warm weather. We certainly have even warmer conditions on the way across much of the south and east. Basically, here's the setup with high temperatures. 65 Saturday, 66 Sunday. So warmer than average, but a little cool in the shade when the breeze blows. And then we're back up to 72 Monday, 74 Tuesday, 76 Wednesday. Some of our record high temperatures tomorrow, or next week rather, are within 2 to 3 degrees of the forecast high temperature, and we could, have to bump those up just a little bit. So pleasant weekend weather, but kind of kick the warmth up another notch as we get into next week, largely because of a weather pattern that is kind of going to create a bit of a battle zone across central portions of the nation. Ridge of high pressure basically overhead, that clockwise, I should say, flow around that ridge of high pressure. bringing moisture to the southern plains. For us, it's kind of sinking air. It's squashing our clouds, keeping temperatures warm, sunshine plentiful. Cold air, though, to our north is still filtering south out of Canada and will impact portions of the northwestern, north central, possibly portions of the northeastern United States as well. So for now, we're kind of locked in with this warmer, drier weather. Cold air remains north through the 7-day forecast, but want to remind you that changes are possible as we get into the middle of the month. For now, cold air is blocked, but all it would take, especially in this kind of a weather pattern, just a couple little changes in the overall picture, and we could bring some of that colder air deeper into the south and east, possibly even into metro Atlanta. So something that we're watching for you, something that we will keep you updated on. Want to remind you, First Alert Meteorologist Patrick Pete is back on at 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW. And then also, First Alert Chief Meteorologist is on Atlanta News First, WANF, at 11 p.m. First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30. App updates all the time, streaming on ANF Plus as well. And you can join First Alert Meteorologist J.D. Disharoon, new member to the First Alert Weather team, and myself heading into the weekend. We'll chat right here on Atlanta News First Plus, probably have more of an introductory on our Saturday, and then handing over the reins for weekend evenings, afternoons and evenings to First Alert meteorologist J.D. Disharoon. Vanessa Smith, hey, Mr. Cutter. This is Vanessa Smith from Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is getting some warm weather. We are too. Same weather pattern you see on the screen there, Vanessa, giving you warm weather, giving much of the Mid-South, the Southern Plains, warmer than average conditions, all the way from, Texas to Florida, up to portions of the Carolinas, and even the Tennessee and Ohio River valleys. Portions of those areas will be running warmer than average. I want to thank you all for tuning in and for watching. We'll continue to keep you updated. This last round of rain approaching. But for now, nice outside. We'll actually take a visit down south to our neighbors in Macon. Raining there as well, but rain also, much like Atlanta, coming to an end, pushing back into the coastal empire of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Full First Alert forecast on their check coming up at 10 p.m. with First Alert meteorologist Patrick Pete.